they do say in épée anything can happen, and there were some big surprises along the way. The French going out early to the Estonians. Estonia beat France 43-42. They then beat Poland, and they were defeated by Denmark. Denmark are through to the final against Russia. Well, Russia, they beat Great Britain in the table of 16, 45-22. And then they beat Germany 36-26. And then they beat Hungary 24-23. So they are the Russian team and the team from Denmark.
Massive day for the Danish team. This has been, they've been threatening this kind of performance for the past couple of seasons, taking out Ukraine first, Nikishin, Here and Svitskar. That was a great win for the Danes. But then coming up against Switzerland, you would have fancied the Swiss team to go through that one. But no, again, Denmark outfoxed them 39-38, and that's Heitzer, Steffen and Nijala.
And that went down to a priority minute, and there was controversy right at the very end. A yellow card was awarded to Jorgensen, which would have given the win to Switzerland. Heitzer went running around the hall thinking he'd won it, went to a video review, and it was overturned, and it drew the scores level again. And then Heitzer started to run out of time, and in the last 10 seconds it was Jorgensen that was able to win that one 39-38. It was a thrilling match, and the Danes were so pumped up about it. Now the question is, they've got to this point, they've expended a lot of energy, they've gone through a lot of emotional roller coaster. Can they keep that intensity up against the Russians, who have had a pretty, well, I wouldn't say easy, but it was a tough one against Hungary they had in the semi-finals. But they are a tough team to beat.
Certainly are, but Paddy Jorgensen is on for the Danes, and we will, of course, see the Danish box, I'm sure, during this coverage, but it's the new performance director of the Danish team that I think has to be given a big pat on the back for making things possible for the Danish team to do so well, and that is a former British Olympian, Lawrence Halstead.
And teammate of yours, I believe.
We may have overlapped by a season or two, or maybe.
You're that much older.
I am just a little older than him. He was my last competitive fight.
Oh, well,
actually.
There you go.
Lawrence Halstead.
Did you win?
At the Bristol Open, no, and I have to.
Is that why it was your last competitive fight?
To say, it was the last competition in the UK. I then went to the 2006 Commonwealth Fencing Championships, and didn't get a medal there either. But another 4th place in the team event. I got 3 of those. Lawrence was my last fight on domestic soil in the UK at the Bristol Open, and he was very generous because he was absolutely thrashing me, and I think he stepped off the gas a little bit just to get me a few points on the board.
So they're both going out after this, aren't they? This is not too cagey, this start. Jorgensen looking for a way through.
Nice hit from him as well, and that's crucial because non-combativity was looming there, and Jorgensen would have been penalised if a hit hadn't been scored with Sukov already 1-0 up.
Well, now that the scores are level, the intensity is still high, but the motivation to attack, double scored, resets the passivity clock, non-combativity clock that runs. You can see that if you look at their names on the edge of the piece there, you see that white line that edges along. That gets towards a minute, then it goes into, what colour is it? Green?
Yellow
red?
first.
Yellow, then red.
Good innovation from those that look after our scoreboards. Very clear for everyone at home to see that clock counting up. A power-up bar, if you like. This one doesn't look like it's going to get to time because these two are keen to get the scores rolling early doors.
So if you're new to team fencing, then it's a ladder. 5 is the target in the first leg. You don't have to reach 5, but 10 will be in the second, 15 in the third, and so on all the way to 45. Or if the 3 minutes run out, you accept the score that you're on and move on. Sukov's got it, so it's 5-3. So we do go into the second leg, and Sergei Bida will come on for Russia, and Truls Christian Rubel will take to the piste. Whoever it is supplies the pictures, they do need to update them. It's an important part of the sport, and when you've got a picture of Sergei Bida's picture as well, that looks like it was taken when he was still in school. So the pace much slower in this second leg. Sergei Bida, 26-year-old lefty, ranked 16th in the world. And it's interesting that the Russians, they don't have a replacement. Oh, it's gone yellow. And it's going to go, it can't go red because it's red. Robel will lose a point. So Robel's internal clock there bringing a yellow card for passivity. So if it happens again, it'll be a point to Bida.
Yeah, P red. These early stages, it's worth just mentioning what a great job the Germans have done of these championships. It looks as good as an Olympic Games as Robel does get one back. The setup is incredible. They've done a fantastic job.
Yeah, well laid out.
Claudia Bockel, the president of the German Federation, well, she's going to be mighty proud So's that man there, the Danish coach.
Well, I was just pointing out that the Russians have no reserve. There's no reserve listed on the score sheet. It's Glazkov, Bidot, Sukhov, and then
Sergei Kodos is the one that's down there, sitting down. He is the reserve.
yeah. So why haven't they put that on the score sheet? Or did it just not get put on the... We'll write it ourselves. Right, okay. I've got an old version of the score sheet, that's why. Yeah, Sergei Kudos is reserve. He's world rank number 34. The 32-year-old Russian.
Hugo Dergal, the Danish national épée coach, will be very pleased with Robel there. That was a containment job, the Russian coach up on his... It's Mess in German, not Mads as it's spelt. The English pronunciation would be Mads, but it's Mez, and it's not Hershkov, it's Herschler.
Oh. Herschler.
He's the referee here at the competition. Obviously, he won't be involved in the refereeing duties in this particular final because his home nation, Denmark, are in it, and it's a massive result for Denmark. Whatever the outcome of the final, whether they take the European title or not, they've got themselves a hat load of points here at the European Championships in this crucial Olympic qualifier. Glazkov, former junior world champion, stepped up to the senior plate a couple of seasons ago. The pommeler is not risking anything here, though, keeping his distance and staying away from giving any hits away.
And Von der Osten is on for Denmark. I'm talking about pronunciations. He's very clear. It's Von der Osten, not Van der Osten.
His dad heavily involved in the sport. He's here as well, Hans, and he's looking on from the sidelines. Hans is a real fan of fencing. He loves the sport, and he's created a little line of, I don't know what you call them, toy swords to try and encourage children into taking up the sport with a soft version, if you like, of
kind of like Go Fence.
A bit like the old Go Fence that British fencing used to have, indeed. Just getting away with a double there on the counter.
Now, Von der Osten's on a yellow card for passivity.
P yellow.
And the clock is about to turn yellow.
Yeah, just 12 odd seconds left to go before, and there's the shout from the Danish camp as Von der Osten has Glasgow at the back of the piece, and he does force that hit out.
Yeah. Well, that's where doubles are important. Doubles have suddenly gained a new importance.
Looks like they're going to let this one run out.
Indeed they do. And it's 9-7 as we're done with the good long reach. That's an important one for Roble, and he's pumped by that. At this stage, the small differences matter. It's all about containment. And trying to slowly wrestle the lead back. And of course, because Troels Christian Robel picked up the yellow card for passivity in leg 2, that remains all the way through in team fencing.
And the Danes are back on level terms. And look what it means to Lawrence Halstead there with Hugo Dergal in the Danish box. This would be...
if they can get back into the lead again, then it takes the pressure off having that yellow for passivity as well. Because if they were to go passivity now, then...
they'd give up a hit.
Yeah, they would be the one that's...
Well, they would give up a hit. They'd give a hit to the...
Give a hit to their opponents.
The Russians just get a P yellow. The first one. And that's why the Danes are so keen to keep the scoreboard ticking over. They take a double over a second P yellow card, or a red card as it would be.
Well, Sukov's not going to do anything to jeopardise that. And, nice, worked his way through. And
Robel waiting for that, wasn't he? To find the beat, and Robel out of balance. Nice beat there, really nice, so sharp and acknowledged.
Yeah.
By Tristan Robel.
He shortened his name from Troels Christian to Tristan. I'm sure he won't mind. He's pretty pumped up by that point. So we've got 15 seconds left on this period. It's 11 apiece. I can't see either of these guys launching anything crazy.
No.
And they're stepping away, and yeah, they're just offering up. Let's end this. And it is 11-all. Good job done there by Troels Christian Robel. The lead is so important in épée, and even more so in Team Épée, and even more so now that the rules have changed with passivity. There is Claudia Buchel, who has organised such a fantastic event here herself, a former épéiste.
3 times Olympian, silver medalist in I don't want to say 92. That might be adding years to Claudia Buchel's age that shouldn't be there.
So Patrick Jurgensen on for Denmark against Nikita Glazkov.
It's 2004 Summer Olympics where Claudia Buchel won her silver medal in the Team Épée competition with Britta Heidemann and Imke Dublitzer. She did compete in 2000 and also in 96 at the Olympic Games.
96 was Atlanta, 2000 was Sydney.
She's the 2001 world champion as well. Picked up a bronze medal in the 2006 fencing world championships as well with her team. It was Dublitzer, Heidemann, Markovic and Buchel that claimed that medal. Here entertaining the mayor of the region today.
Yeah, we are in the Nord Rhine-Westphalia region of Germany. only the second largest city in that region. I think Cologne is the largest. Düsseldorf is the 7th largest city in Germany.
It's the same region where 2 of the 3 big German fencing centres are.
Yeah, Dormagen and Bonn.
Heidenheim, the other one. Tauber as well, of course. Have a double.
And I think the athletes are really enjoying the fact that Düsseldorf are hosting these championships. I saw a few on the U-Bahn yesterday evening going into town, into the Altstadt. Quite a lively centre of town. I think it's a holiday today, because last night was really busy in the Altstadt. And the German team were heading in on the U-Bahn. All the athletes that had already finished. The women's sabreurs and the men's foilists. I did actually get to try the Alt beer.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's a bit like stout.
Oh, right, okay. It was a holiday, but only in this particular region in Germany yesterday.
Today.
Yesterday. It was
yesterday was a holiday.
Yesterday was the holiday, yeah. Back to work today.
And Nikita Glazkov goes back to work on the piste. He's had a good leg here. 4-1 the score. He's regained the lead for Russia. A lovely hit to foot. It's all about the setup here, isn't it, Karim?
Yeah, the reason they're sort of bouncing around, they're not just doing it for fun. They're looking for opportunities. They're looking to create opportunities to force their opponents into making a mistake. It's really a massive game of cat and mouse.
And the best way to win in a game of cat and mouse is don't be the mouse.
Recently retired Paolo Pizzo, double world champion from Italy, said to me once that épée is a game of cat and mouse, and the best épéists are the best cat and the best mouse.
So Glazkov with the pommel grip. Seeing that less and less now.
Yeah, there aren't so many on the circuit who pommel, but we're into the last few seconds, and Jorgensen knew he was safe there with the passivity clock counting up at
And the Danes have von der Osten, and the Russians have got and made a substitution. Sergei Bida is off, and it is Sergei Kodos that is on. So the two Sergeys swap, and Bida's sitting down, and Kodos is on the piste. Sergei Kodos, he's not a pommeler, but the length of his arms, he wouldn't really need to be, would he?
No, but von der Osten snuck in. It's the thing about Epe, you don't have to be tall, but if you are shorter, you have to be quicker. And he certainly was quick there, Van der Osten. Still all to play for.
Yeah, just a three-point match. As long as the Danes can contain this, not let it get any worse, we'll go into that final, all-important final third with all to play for.
The key thing about that as well, Graham, is that if Van der Osten can close the gap up even just by 1 or 2 hits, the Russians have to switch from being playing the percentage game. They're going with a risk-averse approach at the moment. Settle back and look to defend the 3-point lead. Van der Osten and his teammates have to close the gap up here. I fancy they may well continue in that vein and try and take the lead, and then the Russians have to come back at them.
And momentum, it's part of it. If you've got the momentum, you've caught up. You're in the right mindset to keep going. But the Danes also have to deal with this passivity clock as well, because they're on a yellow card and they're trailing. Kudos going for it.
Saw the opportunity to launch the flash. Mikhail Pagiev on for the refereeing duties for this 6th leg. Keeping a close eye on things.
Well, 30 seconds left on the clock. Don't have to worry about the passivity power up that's going on down below the score, but we do have to watch out for Kudos. Tries it again. Van der Osten's ready for him that time.
Set him up for that. Lured him into doing the flash attack. This time was 1 step further away, which gave him the room to find the parry and the riposte. Coach, they're standing up.
So Van der Osten right now has managed to get 1 back. I can't see, will Kudos try anything rash at the end of this? No, I think they're going to step away. So 18-15. So we're now into the all-important final third. And at some point,
Danish coach is calling Robel off. Don't go after it. You're inside 1 minute. Enough's enough. Came in with a 3-point deficit. Clawed a couple of those back. Now faces a 4-point deficit.
Yeah. Glazkov so threatening to the foot.
This is really going to turn things around, the results of this competition. Whichever way it goes, Russia and Denmark are out of the provisional spots for the Olympic Games at the moment, but Russia will climb the rankings by, well, potentially 64 points should they win it, putting them on 89. And I need to have a look at the Asian Championship results, but I think China won that one.
Yeah, China won.
Second and Japan's third. So Japan is already up in those top spots, but I think they'll climb into the top 4. China, well, they get 64 points. They will get into the top 4.
What about Japan? Where are Japan?
Japan are sitting 5th at the moment, so they're going to climb up as well. And so this really becomes a crucial European Championships, because we're definitely going to have teams out from outside of Europe. Oh, sorry, from inside of Europe. You'd expect to see at the Olympic Games, not there.
22-18. We're going out of the 7th and into the penultimate round, round 8. Von der Osten is on for Denmark. Pavel Sukhov on for Russia. 4-point deficit the Danes need to make up. And the Russians, well, their tactic will be defend and contain. The onus is very much on the Danes to try and do something about this deficit. Sukhov's not really doing anything to threaten Von der Osten. He's just doing enough to make him unsure when he's coming forward. He's really playing around with the distance there, Sukhov.
Yeah, nice little octave parry as well. Just beating the Dane's blade out of the way. And now Von der Osten asks the referee to just check his weapon to make sure it's working. It isn't. So the hit's annulled.
That's a bit fortunate, maybe.
Well, it's often that they go to the referee in situations like that in hope more than expectation.
Yeah.
But that time it looked like Von der Osten.
It's a shame we can't see the replay of the actual hits, but
yeah, Von der Osten went to the referee and said, I actually think my weapon is broken here.
So because that hit doesn't stand, the passivity clock has come back on where it was. Maybe it was the spool that didn't work. Although
no, I think the replacement weapon's broken. Not necessarily broken, but maybe the weapon's faulty. Technically, that's a yellow card offence for Von der Osten. It wouldn't tot up to the it's the body wire. It's the body wire that's broken. Lawrence Halstead there with the Danish tracksuit on. Strange for me to see him with a Danish tracksuit on rather than a British one. I'm so used to seeing him competing as an athlete. He retired after Rio 2016. Very actively involved in the promotion of the Olympics being a good news story for not just sport but for everything, and how important Olympians' voices are in terms of raising awareness for a whole host of things.
Sukhov. Well, a double only serves to reset the passivity clock, and in a way that helps the Danes, but other than that, it's pretty much immaterial. Von der Osten needs to find a way through, needs to get a couple back.
Sukhov's being so sharp on his feet though, isn't he? Bouncing in and around. You sort of spotted that he was doing that earlier on. And this jumping in and out is giving him the opportunity to launch attacks now. Whereas before it was containing Von der Osten, now he's creating his own openings. Referee calling halt there because the replay was still playing on the screen in front of him. Von der Osten searching out for the foot, but I think Pavel Sukhov is way too sharp to let his front foot get hit. And look at him playing with the distance.
Yeah.
Pushing forward.
Oh, it didn't work for him there though. Attacked from too far out. Sukhov, he telegrammed that one ahead.
I'm coming. Yeah, no, but he's been really clever with his feet because he's pushing enough that he's got room behind him to escape if Von der Osten comes in.
Yeah, I shouldn't really use the expression telegram because that's way out. He sent a WhatsApp group message out like the day before to say he was going to do that attack.
So Von der Osten now trying to push Sukhov to the back line.
So he can't dance in and out quite so much.
When's the attack coming, Frederick?
Oh, Sukhov, great work.
He's going to have to go after this, I think. There's only 17 seconds left. He doesn't... I'm sure Patrick Jorgensen doesn't want to come on with a 5-point deficit.
And he doesn't want to come on with a 6 or 7 point deficit either.
It looks like you're right as well. Von der Osten has been told to call off the dogs.
Yeah. That is that. 4-3 in the 8th. And the team scores
Paddy Jorgensen really fired up for this one. Pressing hard, getting Bida pinned to the back line. He's incredibly knowledgeable of the sport, and he's a master tactician as well, Paddy Jorgensen. He understands the sport on a level that most people aspire to. He really does get how the game works. So if anyone is going to have a chance of taking this away from Russia, it is Patrik Jorgensen. Switched from foil to épée.
Sergei Bida's trying not to get pushed back.
Nice, another one. Another one. Good idea. But now I think he has to change what he's doing, Patrik Jorgensen, and certainly Sergei Bida's going to have to change what he's doing. He can't just sit back against Patrik Jorgensen because he knows Jorgensen's going to come after him. He has to. It's the last fight.
Yep. 3 points in it.
So Bida now searching around the guard. Much taller than Jorgensen.
Big beat there.
Another one.
And then attack.
And now Bida looks like he's in a bit of trouble.
Let's have a look at the replay here. Where did he catch Bida? Right on the top of the thigh. It was when he ran past. No, didn't catch him at all. But Bida's down and he's clutching his right knee.
And the doctor is going to come out. In fact, the pair are coming out. Mary Cohen is the doctor for these championships. Specialises in paediatrics, but which is looking after children from a medical point of view. But she's also specialising in sport.
Apt when you're talking about athletes.
Yeah. But she's also specialising in sports medicine, particularly for young athletes. So. She's working with a local team of German doctors and physios. The Bashir family have been involved in European Championships as both fencers, commentators and doctors.
All right.
My brother Gareth has done a couple of European Championships as the official doctor.
Press officers as well.
Press officers as well.
Yeah. You just need to get a job in the organising committee next.
I'll leave that to the professionals. Magic spray being applied.
No, it's still hurting.
Bit of tension in the Danish camp by the looks of things. Paddy Jorgensen staying very, very calm though.
2 points in it. 1 minute 36 on the clock. This is definitely doable for Denmark.
Definitely still favouring that leg though. The Russian. What's the odds of him coming out and bouncing up and down like nothing's wrong? I think I'm obviously being facetious there. He wouldn't go down like that unless he'd injured himself, and they did do quite a lot of work on him.
Well, Couple of big jumps to test it out. Looks fine. Check the guards. And here we go. So we're back underway. Can Patrick Jorgensen continue this run? He's 3-0 up over Bida. He's looking to try and close down a 5-point deficit he inherited in this final leg. The next point so crucial. Bida being more positive, pushing forward more than he did in the last 3 points. Jorgensen now starting to exert some dominance.
Time now.
Yeah, time indeed, double scored. That will help. Takes the pressure off the passivity, and we're less than a minute, so we can forget about the passivity yellow card now. It's immaterial. We're into the last minute of the match. In a way, that is something that at least the Danes don't have to worry about. They do have to worry about this 2-point deficit. 2 single lights required for Jorgensen. There's one. There is one.
We got history in the making here.
Well, this is. They do say that Epée is a slow burn, but it's come to the boil now. Jorgensen, if he can get one more, draw level.
40 seconds.
Plenty of time. Sergei Bida getting pushed back. Trying to move around. Bida's got him.
Nice stuff from the Russian there. Getting a counter on the way back.
This is what fencing is all about. This is the excitement. This is for the gold medal. Oh, just fell short.
Pushed him back. Got the blade this time. Patrick Jorgensen back within 1.
Now, did Bida look a bit rattled there? "31 seconds on the clock. Can Jorgensen do it? He has! He's done it! It's level! The scores are level!
Incredible stuff.
Now look at the difference between the 2 boxes. The Danes are all on their feet, cheering their teams on. The Russians are just pacing around, sat down, hands on heads. It's not the same team spirit at all in the Russian camp as it is in the Danish camp.
Change of weapon as well for the Russians.
Scores are tied. Now, what will the tactic be for Jorgensen?
We talked about this the other day. I think Jorgensen has to go after it, stick with the same tactic that's got him back into the match. Question is he brave enough?
27 seconds on the clock. If it stays level, it goes to priority minute.
Oh my goodness me, that's amazing. This is an amazing comeback from Denmark. Russia, though, still in it, and they've still got time.
Oh yeah, plenty of time left. We know how long time can take in épée.
I'm just looking down to the crowd, and sitting on a table just outside the field of play is Patrick Jorgensen's wife, who's got her head in her hands. Sorry, I shouldn't say wife. His girlfriend.
Bida now pushing forward. Bida attacking. Jorgensen defending.
Oh
it's a double. It's a double.
It's a great match. A great match.
Double will only serve just to wind the clock down.
And look at the Danish coach, Graham. He is giving very clear instructions. He's talking about distance. He's talking about taking a step away before going in. Incredible match. Jorgensen on the brink of making history for Denmark.
15 seconds on the clock. Bida needs to do something, needs to level the scores. It's down to the Russian, and he's done just that.
Amazing.
30 all. Now the Russians are animated. They're all on their feet.
It's a gold medal match that just keeps giving, isn't it? It's so good.
Now, with 8 seconds left on the clock, who's going to be brave? Is anyone going to take a risk, or are we going to go to priority minute?
I reckon we're going to have priority minute here.
Let's see. Yeah, priority.
It's going to be a priority minute. Who gets the priority? Who gets the priority?
So this is the great thing about Team Epée contests. Priority has gone to Jorgensen. It's gone to Denmark. So if the scores are tied at the end of the priority minute, then Denmark will win. The onus is on Bida to attack, but Jorgensen knows that, and he could attack equally himself.
It's completely in the hands of these two guys to take the medal. Russia clearly have got plenty of medals at Team Epée. I don't think Denmark have ever, well, they certainly haven't won a European Championship at men's epée.
So here we go. Who is going to win gold? Bida's pushing.
Yep, going after it. He has to.
45 seconds.
Paddy Jorgensen going in.
Oh my God. Oh, now.
Second action for me. Second action.
Now.
It's a second action from Bida. I don't think he's going to get this. Mikhail Pegiev has gone to the replay screen. He's given it.
Oh, that's it. Russia have got it. Russia have got it. And now Jorgensen's asking the referee for a video review. And that's it. Russia have won gold. It'll be interesting to look at that final action again. But the Danes, well, they pushed it right to the wire, and you could not have wanted for a better end
Well, here they come for the women's epée. Bronze medal match. A fight-off for third place and a spot on the podium. for Italy and France.
Well, time now for the bronze medal match of the women's team épée competition here at the European Championships in Düsseldorf.
Rosella Fiammingo, Federica Isola, and Mara Navarra.
And there are the Italian team. Alice Celici will be the reserve to start off with. And the French team have two of the finalists from the individual competition. Marie-Florence Condasami took the gold. No, the other way around. And Caroline Vitali took the gold, and Marie-Florence Condasami took the silver. Aurélien Malo will be their anchor. And Jacques-André Coquin will be in the team. She was reserve in the semi-finals.
Referee lineup is huge as well. Amber Siviero from Switzerland and Michal Pagiev, well-known names on the circuit from Switzerland and Moldova, those two. They're going to be the assistant referees. And look who's out there to start this match. Adrian Speakman of Great Britain. He's been riding up the referee ladder, and he's out here doing one of the biggest matches in the year of fencing. Sharing duties with him also another young rising talent, Anna Kovria of Serbia. Saw the Italian huddle at the beginning. Always have a bit of fun, the Italian, especially the female Italian teams. Create some kind of unique routine before major championships.
Rosella Fiammingo will get things underway. She will start and she will finish. The Italians, well, they're with numbers 1, 2 and 3 in the draw. And the French have 4, 5 and 6. They're going with Aurélien Malo as their anchor, so Malo will come on in the second and in the sixth.
So the team huddle of France, and Barrois, the coach, giving them some last-minute instructions. He would have prepped them well before this match, but just reminding them of the key points. The coaches tend not to give too much information, or they don't overload it. They'll give maybe 2 or 3 points maximum to each fencer. This is a big one. Italy and France for bronze.
Well, if you look to their progression through, the French team lost to Poland 45-37, and Italy lost to Russia. It was a close one, 36-35. As Fiammingo and Marie-Florence Condasami will get things underway in leg one. So we're off, we're underway. Fiammingo had that really good 3 or 4 years over 2014, 15 and 16. Took the Olympic silver medal.
Big game fencer, Fiammingo, double world champion. Both teams have had good seasons. France won the first 3 World Cups and then picked up a bronze and a silver in the last 2 in Cairo and sorry, that's not correct. They both had good seasons. France picked up the silver in Tallinn. Italy got 2 bronzes though to finish the season, so finishing on good form.
Red. Allez.
And team fencing actually in women's épée, it's been a bit of a mixture. Lots of teams competing for the top spots. We've got Russia and USA and Korea, Estonia, Poland, China, Italy, of course.
USA are world champions.
Yeah, so it's very, very competitive, women's épée.
Out. En garde. En garde. Red. Allez.
The World Championships last year, it was the Hurley sisters.
With
Part
Kat-
of that with
Kat
Kat
Holmes,
Holmes.
yeah.
They beat Korea in the final. Lee, Choi, Kam and Shin. China took the bronze.
Yeah, Hughes Aubry from France doing a great job with the Chinese épée teams. Always a bit of a slow burner, épée, as the athletes feed each other out. They don't. It's as much about not giving away too much of a lead early on as it is trying to get one. But what has happened this season with the new non-combativity rules is it's making the fencers come out and score hits when perhaps they were using passivity in the past as a tactical weapon. Well, within the rules before, but now, well, fencing want the fencers just to hit each other a few more times and not use time as a tactic. Because obviously in a team event, that's a valuable tool to have if you can go up against someone who you feel might be stronger than you and not get hit. You perhaps don't give them the advantage they would have had. These two, though, are trying to find a way through to get to each other. Fiamingo very compact and giving away a little bit on reach. But that's why she's keeping this close distance, because if Kandasamy steps in and isn't ready, Fiamingo can dive in, as she did there.
Well, France won this 12 months ago in Novi Sad in Serbia. The reigning European champions, but they are now fighting out for a bronze medal this time round. And Adrian Speakman calls halt as the time runs out. Rosella Fiamingo goes with a slight lead, and Federica Isola comes on for Italy, and Oriane Marlowe for France. Just looking at the French team, the French used to have Laurence Epée in the team. She's been kind of replaced by Josephine Jacques-André Coquin. But she's still up there in the world rankings, the 30th in the world. So I know that she has had some problems with her back in the past.
Halt. Touché. Point. En garde. En garde. Prête. Allez. Halt. Touche. One.
Nice one from Malo. She's taking this one to Isola. And perhaps the French might well be targeting Frederica Isola. And the lineup is preordained, so the teams will have a look and see which fights they want to go after and which fights they want to do a bit of containment and not give up hits.
Halt. One. Knockout. Fight. Allez.
So the target in leg 2 is 10. But in épée, often see they don't go to target, particularly not in the first 3 or 4 periods. And then there might be a time where one of the coaches said, right, okay, let's go on a run. Let's see how many points we can rack up here.
Halt. One. Knockout. Fight. Allez. Halt. One.
So Malo showing some intent and pressing early on, and Isola's just said, well, I can't sit back.
Knockout. Fight. Allez.
So 4 apiece.
Halt. One. Knockout. Fight. Allez.
Double scored
One.
with 11 seconds left on the clock.
Knockout. Fight. Allez.
Will anyone take a risk here in the last 10 seconds of this leg? Unlikely, especially with the scores sitting tied at 8 apiece. So the French are handing over from Aurélien Malo to Joséphine Jacques-André Coquin. And it is Mara Navaria that will come on for Italy. Navaria, world ranked number 3, 33 years old. She's won a bronze medal. She's actually won, she won the individual gold medal in Wuxi, the World Championships last year. Best she's done in this team competition, the European Championships, was a silver back in Leipzig in 2010.
Yeah, but this Italian team picked up 2 bronzes in the last 2 competitions of their season, or the ones that include team events, the World Cups, in Chengdu in March and in Dubai in May. And not bad to have a double world champion in Rosella Fiammingo in your team and the reigning world champion, Mara Navaria. Fascinating that the teams have adapted to the new non-combativity rule. What's intrigued me here at these championships is that they seem to have this internal clock, and they know that around about 51 seconds into non-combativity, they know they have to go for it. And they're not going for it right at the end at 59 seconds, just in case, they go past each other and miss. And we've seen that on a couple of occasions. So it is around about 50, 51 seconds that someone does something if they haven't scored a hit.
And if you look at the little timer underneath, the egg timer underneath the piece there, underneath the athletes' names, that is the non-combativity clock. That's the thing that just moves and ticks along. Well, Navaria is doing a good job in this leg. 3 unanswered hits. And Coquin able to get one back. A good leg here for Mara Navaria, the world champion.
Yes, trying to break it open a little bit. Much more pleasant for a team to have a 2 or 3 point lead in a team event. And if you can get it this early, then it gives you breathing space in the rest of the match. As Jacques-Andre Caquin backs off at the end of that, deciding not to ship any more points.
Yeah, and Isola will come on for Italy, and Condasami is coming on for France, and now maybe a chance for the French to get back in this and level the score. Yeah, on paper, you'd have to go with Condasami, took a silver medal at these championships.
But, saying that, it takes a lot out of the legs just 3 days before the team event when you make it through to the medal matches. And there's Oriol Mallow sitting on the sidelines.
Frederica Isola, just 19 years old, world ranked 39. Has taken a bronze in a Grand Prix, won that in Cali in 2018.
It's a beautiful city, Cali. It's about 1,500, 1,200 meters up, surrounded by mountains, and the first city to employ the cable car as public transport.
The very first city ahead of, oh no, San Francisco was trams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
London, of course, has a cable car across the Thames for no apparent reason.
Built for London 2012, actually. It was designed as a way to transport the spectators around.
Just looking at Frederica Isola's record, she won a gold medal in the European Junior Championships in Sochi in 2018. She's had a very good junior career so far, and stepping up to senior level. Took a bronze at the World Junior Championships in Plovdiv in 2017.
Right on the very edge of the piste here. Yeah, if you make the Italian senior team, because fencing is so strong in Italy, you have had to battle to make it onto the teams. So if you're on the Italian team, you are definitely a very, very good fencer. Similar for France as well, of course. Their national sport is fencing.
I'm still trying to think of other cities with cable cars. Now Budapest
Host of the World Championships.
Host the World Championships in a couple of weeks across the other side of the Danube in Pest rather than Buda. Is it a cable car or is it a tram that goes up to the Citadel? So this one in Cali is an aerial cable car, so in the air.
Yeah.
Oh, Rio, of course. Rio's got one.
But that's specifically to get up Sugarloaf, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still, remember James Bond with Jaws sliding down the chain?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The Paz has cable cars.
Isola's doing a great job here.
Yeah, they've tried. The Italians have tried and succeeded in trying to break this one open in legs 3 and 4. And with just 20 seconds left to go, Isola's done a great job after Mara Navaria went +3 in the last match.
Yeah, the clock ticks down, and the first third of this match is over. Oh, sorry, the first third's already over. We're up to coming out of the fourth and into the fifth, And Rosella Fiammingo's coming on for Italy now. Italy, well, they've done a good job the last 2 legs. Coming out to the second, it was 8 apiece. Now 17-11. Just wondering why Caroline Vitali is down as reserve when she performed so well in the individual event.
Well, it could be tactical.
Oh, God.
While the coach for the French team may have decided that you know, maybe she has a bogey fencer in the Italian team. She doesn't like to fence, but it also could be down to the fact that maybe she, you know, it's very, very hard work on the legs making a final at any championships. But with the added sort of intensity of a zonal championships, European championships, perhaps she's just not got the reserves.
Halt. Touche. 3. En garde. En garde. Prête. Allez. Halt. Touché. 3. En garde. Prête. Allez.
Well, Jacques-André Coquin is doing okay against Rosella Fiammingo.
Halt. En garde.
And Coquin just asking Adrian Speakman to go and have a look at the video on that.
En garde. Prête. Allez. Halt. 3. En garde. Prête. Allez. Halt. Pardon. Halt. Prête. Allez.
So a minute left in the fifth. It's 2 apiece. It's Jacques-André Coquin, the one that's doing the pressing, but Fiammingo very good in defense.
Halt. Touché. 3.
Double scored.
En garde. Prête. Allez. Halt. 3. En garde.
Nice one for Fiammingo, just retaining and extending the lead.
Regarde. Prête. Allez.
So the score sits at 21-14 as we come out of the fifth and we go into the sixth. Rosella Fiammingo will hand over to the world champion Mara Navaria.
Marie-France Condassimi also on a -4. All the Italians are in positive figures. Indicators are basically taking all the hits you've scored and subtracting the number of hits that have been scored against you, so it gives you an idea of form. It's not the full story, of course, but you would prefer either a 0 or a positive figure next to your name rather than a negative one.
The French could be leaving it up to Oriane Malo. She's got this leg and then she's the anchor leg.
They'll want, I think, right now with Oriane Malo on the piste to try and close the gap up. It's not about the target score anymore for the French team. The notional target for this leg is 30 points. It's not about that. It's about closing that 6-point gap.
Okay. Regarde. Prête. Allez. Halt. Touche. 3. Regarde. Prête. Allez.
Well, it's slowly simmering away.
That was good in the end from Malo. The attack was from just a little bit too far out. We'll see it here. She misses the first one. That's blocked out, but she's very quick on the remise.
Regarde. Prête. Allez. Halt. Okay. 3. Regarde. Prête. Allez.
Good stuff from Navaria. She's adjusted to Malo's attack now. Didn't get away with it last time. Malo came in through with a remise, but that time she just skipped away. And instead of coming in with the right of way, she just held her ground and stuck her arm out. And Malo, with her momentum, came onto her tip.
Touché. 3. Regarde. Prête. Allez. Out.
Well, Marlowe's doing well here.
3.
7-4 in this leg. And the gap has closed.
Regarde. Prête. Allez.
So things are fairly positive for the French, because they've got Marlowe coming back on in the anchor, and if she's on form and they can keep within just a couple, I think we're going to see this one out. 25-21 the score, and we are now into the final third. We go from the 6th into the 7th. And are we going to see any substitution? Isola is on, and
Happen in épée, obviously, but only weapon where both fencers can hit at the same time. But especially in team matches, it doesn't affect the scoreline. But as
well, early days doubles are useful for stopping the non-combativity clock.
yes, and the other thing is they're part of your exploration, if you like. You're trying to find out what to do, what's going to happen. So giving away a double when you're doing that is not as bad as obviously getting a single light against you.
So 2 apiece.
Messy in the middle, and Vitaly not happy with the outcome. I've
got to say that the German organisers have done a fantastic job, and it's very good that they were able to get the reward of being able to show the men's Team Sabre competition gold medal match live on German TV, and it's rewarded all the sponsors that have stepped forward to help put on this event.
Great for fencing in Germany as well, because lots of youngsters, I'm sure, would have watched their men's Sabre team fencing in a really great match against Hungary.
Friederike Isler is quite an attacking fencer. She's not really on there for containment, you wouldn't say, for Italy. She's going after it.
Well, she's getting from there. Yeah, I mean, it is they're going for a video call. I think that's the Italian box there, but in the French box they're asking for a video and suggesting that Isola was turned her body, so get to see it here. So she didn't hit with that one. What? I think she scores before she turns around. Referee's back though. She does give the hit. That's Anna Kavria of Serbia. Yeah, so yeah, no, I know what you're saying about not one. You know, if your natural game is an attacking one, not wanting to contain, but you've got to do the job that your coach tells you to do.
Well, our coach will obviously know what where her strengths and weaknesses are.
-2 indicator. Jacques-André Caquin finished because she was substituted by Vitaly. She finished with a -4.
Well, it's all down to Oriane Marlow right now. But Marie-Florence Condasani can't. Wow, 6 points the deficit. You'd want to close the gap a little bit here before the final leg.
Well, is it a stroke of genius from Sandro Cuomo, the Italian coach, to bring on Clerici for Navaria, because Navaria is on a 0 indicator, so if you like, she's not given anything away, and she's not scored any hits. And it's also about outfoxing your opponent's tactics, because you have to tell that you're going to make the substitution at least one fight in advance, but it doesn't give the opposing team that much time to re-prepare the fencer who's going to go on up against her. It's good stuff from Clerici, containing Kandasamy here.
En garde.
Mallow standing watching on.
En garde, madame. Prête. Allez.
I'm not sure where that went, that hit. I think that may have been off the piste. Referee goes to have a look at it, and you can see that Kandasamy also thinks that she wasn't hit. The piste itself is earthed, so that light wouldn't come off if she hit it, but they were close to the side of the piste and could have hit the carpet on the outside.
Pas des touches.
No hit
En garde.
given.
It's yours. En garde. Prête.
Possible, actually, looking at that, maybe she hit her own foot.
En garde. Prête. Allez.
Nice one from
One.
Kandasamy, using that reach advantage.
En garde. Prête. Allez.
Clerici thought she'd done enough by beating the blade away, but Kandasamy able to come through and hits her on the back leg there.
Yeah, but the Italian is doing a super job here. 3-3. She's not given anything away, so she's not allowed the French to close the gap up. And we only have one more fight to go after this. And all the pressure's going to be on Oriane Mallow.
Yeah, it's a big ask, really.
En garde.
6-point gap.
Prête. Allez.
And the Italians are quite close to that target score, so if it turns into a bit of a hit fest, lots of doubles are scored, all of a sudden you run out of room on the scoreboard.
And, of course, Mallow is going up against Rosella Fiammingo.
Yeah, and that's, yeah. And Fiammingo is very good in defence.
One.
So 11 seconds left on the clock. Time for one more from Kandasamy, if she so requires,
Prête.
so desires, I should say.
Oh, I think she has to. Perhaps the coach has asked her to lay off.
No, we are going into the last leg with a 6-point deficit, and the French team
start. Prep it up. Work out how to get into distance against Rosella Fiammingo and pick off single lights. Like I say, she'll spend the first minute and a half fencing as though it's a normal match.
Allez.
Yeah, just trying to close the gap point by point. Fiammingo, well, it's all about containment and defence.
Mallow's closing the distance. She's trying to get Fiammingo to attack her. Gives up on that tactic and goes after it herself, but Fiammingo had just about enough room behind her to step away from the oncoming French fencer.
Again, Mallow pressing forwards, closing it up towards the back line. Fiammingo does have room. A better execution of the same plan. Oh, that time Marlow really fast off the line and catching Fiammingo on the foot. So 1 point clawed back. Double scored. Doubles are only going to favour the Italian team. Have a look at the replay. Well, no, we're not going to see the replay on that one. So we get back underway.
She's doing really well, isn't she, the Italian? It's not about just staying away from your opponent. She's doing what I think a lot of young fencers could learn from this. That she's conceding ground, but she gets to a certain point on the piece. She says, right, I can't give up any more ground, and she goes after it, but she's waiting for Mallow to step in and close the distance up. Mallow, of course, has a longer reach, so Fiammingo has to start from a close distance to have a chance, otherwise Mallow just skips around, outreaches her. It's good stuff from Rosella Fiammingo. And to be fair to Mallow, this is a massive ask coming into this match, 6 points down. She's fenced really well in this team match. +4 indicator in her first 2 fights. She's done the heavy lifting for the French team.
But when you press against Fiammingo, you've got to be wary of that. Close the distance. And Fiammingo able to attack. So 1 minute left for Fiammingo to fence out, or we might get up to 45. Fiammingo could easily just double this out.
I think the French camp are saying take the blade to avoid that. And she's doing it immediately. It stands because Fiammingo was the one that went past and Mallow's allowed one attempt.
Marlowe's got the hurry up on now.
Nice power riposte.
Looking to take the blade there. I think there's going to be a bit of a change of tactics here from Fiammingo. She does go earlier, doesn't give up as much ground. She's adapted to Mallow's change of tactics. Yeah, not conceding ground is now.
Yeah, but it's all about changing tactics. That was nice from Mallow. She skipped in. She was actually trying to tempt Fiammingo out into this attacking approach she's been doing, but this time, because Rosella Fiammingo didn't attack, she threw in a single light attack. Time now is the biggest enemy for the French team.
Well, and points as well. There you go. 45-38. And it was Italy all the way through in that. And I think the French team, maybe they didn't have the energy after a fantastic performance in the individual competition from both Kondasamy and Vitali. And Oriane Marleau, she was left with and leading us out are the team from Russia. It's Russia versus Poland. The Russian team, Tatiana Andrushina, Violetta Kolobova, Libov Shutova and Violetta Krapina. And they're up against Magdalena Piecharska, Alexandra Zamachowska, Eva Trebinska and Renata Napik-Miazga.
Please welcome the team of Poland. Renata Napik-Miazga, Magdalena Piecharska, Eva Trebinska, and Alexandra Zamachowska.
And our referees, Amber Siviero from Switzerland and Miguel Pagiev.
So the 4 referees have actually switched roles here. Speakman and Kavria refereed the bronze medal match, and Siviero and Pagiev were the assistants as well. Those two take centre stage for the last gold medal match here as we get the Poles already lined up for their team huddle. Well, they didn't do a huddle before the handshake at the beginning, but they did do a huddle afterwards to rally themselves, the Russians. And for me, this one is interesting because it's all about whether anyone wants to go and take the match early. Because if they don't, and they both decide to go cautious, we could start seeing non-combativity play its part.
So Eva Trzebinska will get things underway for Poland, and Lyubov Shutova for Team Russia. So here we go, this is the gold medal match. Russia came through Italy in the semi-finals. Poland beat France. It's a tight match that the Russia-Italy one, 36-35.
Was that the one that went to priority and there was no hit?
Yeah.
But the Russians had the priority, so they went through.
So today Russia met the Czech Republic beat them 45-28. They met Ukraine and beat them 35-31, and then Italy 35-36. It was a tight one. And Poland, number 1 ranked in this competition, took out Belgium 45-22, Hungary 40-29, and then France 45-37. Just hugging the right-hand side of the piece there.
Shatova's going to have to go for something in a minute. We're into the last 10 seconds before non-combativity will be called.
And she will get the card if it does go red.
It is going to go red.
It's on red.
So, said at the top, this might be a factor, and it already is. Shatova's got just over a minute left in this match, so potentially if she doesn't go for it again, she's going to get a P red. But it's Chybinska that kills that one off. I think Chybinska's idea here is we use these 7 seconds before we get down to under a minute to try and build a lead, and then all the pressure is on the Russians already.
Of course, that passivity yellow will stay right the way through. And if you're trailing, that's a real disadvantage.
Yeah, you have to make an action. You have to do something. So Shatova does go after it and does level the scores, and that's a crucial time to do it because 21 seconds left. I fancy these two will leave this one alone now.
Yeah, no one's going to take any risks here.
Referee has to get them to fence. They mustn't show an unwillingness to fence. But look, they're 2 steps out of distance.
Dance around for a bit for 15 seconds. So, 2-2, but Shatova has picked up a passivity yellow for the team. And we did think that passivity could be a possible tactic. As Kolobova comes on for Russia, and Piekarská comes on for Poland.
I bet he'll be watching.
Well, both fencers just looking for a way through. They're definitely being positive. Double scored. Of course, if they go to passivity now with the scores tied, it's a yellow card for for both sides.
Well, yes, technically you're correct. But it's a P yellow in the first one for Piekarska. It will be a second one, so it's a P red card.
Yeah.
Vanguard, red, allez.
Of course, now Kolobova has established a lead. We're still pressing, but not really committing. There she does now.
So now the pressure is on the Polish team. Target score of 10 here. I don't think they're going to get near that, to be honest with you. I think Kolobova may well go for one more point. For some reason, the teams like to get 3 ahead rather than just the 2 points. She might go for one more in this leg. And remember, this is not just about the European title, which is obviously a huge accolade, but it's also we're also in the middle, or at the start of, Olympic qualification. So the zonal championships make a big difference to your ranking, because it's by team first, Olympic qualification. The teams qualify quota places in the team event. And if you're in a team, well, any other day of the week or any other month of the year, I would say Poland are possibly in the team that would be in that second tier. No, if you get into the top 4 in the world...
Hold on a second, the Pasiviti's just gone yellow.
Yeah, so this could be a yellow coming up for Piekarska.
There she moves now. Yep, so both teams on yellow cards for passivity, and any other cards will now be red and give your teammate a point if you're trailing. So it's the trailing team that gets punished. Yeah. Carry on about the Olympic qualification.
Yeah, so the top 4 in the world qualify at the end of the Olympic qualifying period, which is in April next year. So we are very much at the beginning of it. We kind of have these 2 big competitions, the zonal championships, which are happening around the world at this period of time, and then the world championships coming up in just a few weeks. They make a big difference having an early start with good points at those competitions. Also in the mix there, but this is a good one for Russia, because Russia sit as the top European team, but we're going to get a bag load of points here, whatever happens.
So as we go into leg 3, it's Tatiana Andrushina on for Russia, and Alexandra Zamachowska for Poland.
En garde. Prête, allez.
Well, Zamachowska's closed the gap by 1, but they're still the team that will be punished if they go to passivity. But now the scores are level.
En garde. Êtes-vous prête? Allez.
Andrushina just looking to work around the guard of Zamachowska.
She's very close as well, isn't she? The distance is tight between these two. It's Andrushina that's controlling it. She just opened it back up again. Just trying to find a bit more room for that beat flick to hand. Zamachowska just seems happy just sitting back.
Oh, Cora caught.
So you get to this period, and that's what we were saying, that's when the teams actually start launching attacks, when you're around about the 50-second mark without a hit.
Now the passivity's gone into the yellow.
And there was a shout from one of the coaches, I think on the Polish side, saying, leave it, take the P red. And I can understand that, because both teams get the red, both teams get a point. So it stays at level pegging, just 1 point further.
Yeah, makes absolutely no difference at all.
I think that the polls are saying, leave this alone. I think Andrushina will do the same.
Well, no one wants to give up a hit. The lead's so important. Particularly with these cards for passivity on the board. And the time is ticking down. And that is that. The score, it's at 6 apiece. And Zamachowska will hand over to Piekarská, and Andrushina will hand over. Just hair issues for Shatova. Hair covering to the target. Shouldn't make too much difference in épée.
Distracting. Well, I am quite shocked here, because we're now inside 10 seconds before we'll get non-combativity and a second P red. And it's called.
Rouge, passivité. À vos limites, s'il vous plaît. Piekarská, à la ligne. En garde.
Krapina warming up there in the background.
Prête, allez.
Well, there you go. Now this makes a huge difference. A huge difference. With a point lead now, if there's passivity called, it will be a P black card for Poland.
Prête, allez.
Well, thought passivity may play its part, and never thought that it would get to this state of affairs. Piekarska going after it. And this time Shatova launches in.
Regarde s'il vous plaît, Michi Thomas. Regarde. Prête, allez.
Another hit for Russia. Now they're inside 48 seconds to go, so we won't get another passivity call in this leg.
Regarde.
So we will move on from this one, but the crucial thing here is that Russia have the lead. Any passivity called now will be for Poland. They're going to have to work very hard in order to get themselves back into this match. They want to close that score back up. Now the Russians are warming up their reserve, but I haven't seen Napik Miazga warm up at all, because basically you can bring your reserve on. It's the fencer that gets the card, and the fencer is dismissed.
Allez.
So you can bring your sub in this situation, but 9-7, and wow, this is crucial now. The second that's it, done.
But that could be a double-edged sword, because if the Poles were to re-establish the lead,
This is it. Or
then-
it just get level.
yeah,
And then, but this is what this is now. It's now
So,
turned into a
okay.
really,
So-
really great match, because
here's one for you, Karen. What happens if they get level and then they both get
the P black
the
card.
P black?
Okay, so
who wins then?
Well, if they have used their reserve, because basically the P black card is in a team competition, is given yes to the box to the team, but if you get a P black card, the fencer is disqualified, eliminated, and if they haven't used their reserve can then come on. But if you have used both of your, or if both teams have used their reserve, it's the team with the highest world ranking that would win. But the fight would be over.
That's pretty simple to understand and explain, isn't it?
And the next logical question is, who has the highest ranking?
Poland.
Number 2 in the world at the moment, just behind the USA. Russia are 4th. Only a few points behind the Poles, but ranking says it all. This is all about whether Andrushina can collect hits without taking any risk.
Well, at this point, if you're the coach, you'd say, right, okay, well, we're not going to use our reserves.
Yeah, that's what I would be saying. Leave the reserve out. And Krapina, though, was warming up, the Russian reserve. Korakor now. And that's a regular yellow card being given to Chybinska. And as you can see on the bottom, when you get the wide shot of the piste, on the right-hand side, there's 2 yellow cards. The one on the right is that second warning that Chybinska's just got, but that's a regular infringement. So passivity cards sit on their own.
And fencing isn't unique in having 2 different types of yellow card and warning cards. We share that now with karate, the new Olympic sport for Tokyo 2020.
So Chybinska avoids the call of passivity, which she must do because Poland are behind, but only comes away with a double.
Well, double is good because it resets the clock.
Still Chybinska's responsibility to get the hit here. Halfway through the minute without a hit. She's pressing, she's keeping the distance close. She's definitely trying to find a way through. She's trying to lure Andrushina out. Andrushina, though, keeps pressing herself. And this is the situation and the problem for Poland. They have to be patient in their attack, but when they get inside that last 15 odd seconds of non-combativity, they just have to go for it. Russia know that and can sit back and play the doubles. Particularly favourable for Andrushina, given that she's so tall. Now, was that hit valid? It was. There's one back. Well, time is going to run out in this 4th leg, and this has come to life.
So Kolobova and Zamachowska on. (12-10) the score. And of course the warning yellow cards, they are for the individual fencer in that actual leg. They don't travel forward like the passivity yellow cards.
.30 seconds into that minute without a hit here. You see the little power-up bar under Zamachowska's name. That's the clock counting up to 60 seconds. And as it gets to around about 45 seconds, again, Zamachowska's forced into taking an action. And Kolobova just able to play out with a counter and eke another point out into the lead.
So we mentioned that this dual card system also exists in other sports. In karate, they have a passivity card, but it also gets given for infringements like clinching, grabbing the opponent, feigning injury, and then that's a category 2 yellow, and then a category 1 yellow, it's excessive contact, dangerous attacks, being 2 attacks to the groin, or attacks to the face with open hands. So they have that category 1 yellow card system for being dangerous, being too aggressive, and then another one for being too passive.
Well, if anything, it's the Poles that need a dangerous attack. They don't need to be too aggressive, but they certainly need to start closing this gap back up. Kolobova taking the Russians 3 ahead, and that gives them a safety net. But the thing is, if Poland do get back on level terms here, I think the whole thing will reverse. I think Poland will play it out for a P black card because they take the win. And they get 1 back in close quarters. Kolobova's got to stay more patient. She doesn't need to go out and attack like that. I shouldn't over-criticise her because she's taken them from a 1-point lead to a 2-point lead. But she just needs to remain patient.
So 2 apiece in leg 6.
Oh, nice hit to foot, fainting high. The beat comes and then it goes down to the foot, all part of the target area.
And 3 points may not seem a lot, but in such a low scoring match, it is crucial. It's a 3-point cushion. That's what they've looked for all the way through, both teams.
Zamachowska getting 1 back. She may well go after this again. Just over 10 seconds on the clock. But body fainting as though she was going into the low line and then came back up to the top. Kolobova out.
So it looks to me like they may step away. And we go into the final third. 7, 8, and 9.
Got more chance of closing down the deficit. She's very tall herself. But it was Piekarska who was in the middle of that box looking very serious indeed, along with Trzebinska. And it's great to see her back on the international scene.
En garde. Prête, allez.
Well, it can't be too passive.
40 seconds nearly done of this minute. And she does go
beautiful.
for it. Right, so the game here is simple. Napek Miazga cannot afford to get called for passivity, but she's been brought on to get the poles level.
Well, ideally, get the poles ahead.
But because of their world ranking, they don't need to take any risk once they get on level terms. Because both will get P black cards if there's passivity called if they're level. And they're the higher ranked team in the world. And Andrushina says, right, I am not going to let you get away with this. Russian coach going out of his mind.
Regarde. Prête. Allez.
Funny, we haven't seen much of this new passivity rule at the European Championships. Certainly not in the finals. And now we're in the gold medal match. The last match of the tournament, and we're seeing it really being used as a tactic.
Regarde. Êtes-vous prête? Allez.
Yeah, and actually, it's just made me think that it does mean, you are right, that Napek Miazga actually has to get back into the lead by 1 point because she's the Polish reserve. The Russians haven't used their reserve, so if they get a P black card, they can bring their reserve on. Poland are done. So they just need to get 1 point ahead. But we know exactly what will happen when that happens. They will back off. They will do what the Russians are doing now. And the ball's thrown to the Russians to do what Poland have to do right now. It's just incredible. And
That's it,
this
level.
is incredible throw of the dice for the Polish coach. Knowing what's at stake here, he's brought on his reserve. And the game is to try and get into the lead.
Regarde.
And at the moment, Napek Miazga's got them all level.
Allez.
Well, just 30 seconds left in this leg, so non-combativity won't be called before the end of it. And with 17 apiece, I think it would be a brave move for either of them to go at it. Napek Miazga might be the one that decides to do that because the lead being so important to the Poles, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case as the time ticks down. And the score sits at 17 all as we go into the penultimate leg. We're going out of 7 and into 8.
And the celebration from Napek Miazga was playing to
Slowly, slowly. Waiting for the passivity clock to tick down.
point back for Zamachowska. So now Russia and Shatova have to go after the Poles. It's back to a situation where a 1 point lead gives you much more advantage than that single point because the other team are pressured to score a point within a minute.
So Zamachowska now will not take any risks.
She's got to stay active.
Yeah, got to keep pressing. threatening.
I wonder if Russia would sacrifice any of their fences, because they can afford to have one P black, and Zamachowska didn't have to go after that. So she's given the ball back to the Russians.
En garde. Prête, allez.
Still plenty of time for passivity to be called here. The clock hadn't only just ticked under 2 minutes. So now Zamachowska is the one that has to go after it. This is getting very tense again. 40 seconds on the clock, and you can see
Zamachowska's done it.
that internal clock from these fencers. They know when it's ticking up to about 45 seconds. In fact, earlier today it was about 50 seconds.
Don't want to leave it too late because he might get doubled out. That's the
En
thing.
garde.
Or miss.
Yeah, the missing is the problem in that they want to give themselves at least 2 chances, so they do tend to go for something at about 50 seconds.
Yeah, doubling out obviously resets it. But now Shatova needs to attack.
Yeah, and still passivity could be called because it had 1 minute and some change on the scoreboard. This is just flipping over from one side to the other. It's become very, very thrilling. Who can break this one open? If it got 2 or 3 hits ahead, I think it could all be over.
So Shatova needs to go. And needs to go in the next 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, otherwise she's sacrificed.
Does and gets it.
Otherwise she is sacrificed and the reserve will come on. But it doesn't look like she's prepared to play that game.
Right now, there's 38 seconds left on the clock. Scores are tied at 19.
They'll leave it.
I think they'll both leave it.
En garde.
Passivity.
They can't, in the olden days, and before the new rule came in, they would just signal and walk off, and the referee would allow that. But now they have to at least look like they're fencing.
Well, yeah, there's not new. It's a reinforcement of the unwillingness to fence rule.
Yeah, so they're going to look like they're fencing, but they're not going to do anything for the next 17 seconds.
Not unless one of them makes a big mistake and offers a huge opportunity by stepping in too close. But yeah, I think you're right. They'll stay away from each other.
So it all comes down to the last leg.
But despite it being a low-scoring one, because of the new rule, in the old days, as you said, things would just tick on and the fights move on faster, I suppose. But this one has been on a knife edge ever since that second P.
They'll leave it until maybe 30 or 40 seconds into this. Double scored. Resets the passivity clock. Another double. Again resets the passivity clock. The score so low that it's not going to have an effect. And that's a big one. Kolobova able to just get one ahead. So Jabinska needs to get level. She does just that. Right, 1 minute 48 on the clock. So it's looking like, although it's been nail-biting stuff with passivity, there'll only really be one more chance for either team, or the Russian team, to use that as a ploy. Jabinska will, I think, allow this to tick down before she launches an attack.
Oh,
Kolobova
coming
doesn't
in.
allow that.
She came in then, and actually it was a great octave parry from Jabinska, but she just couldn't get back up onto the body. Here's the parry. She couldn't get back up for the riposte.
In time.
Yeah, and the
Timed out.
continuation comes through. Now we're kind of moving away from the discussion about passivity, because this is all about
The lead.
Jabinska getting into the lead.
Yeah, this is all about who's got the lead.
In fact, it's about getting level before time runs out, so that you force a priority minute. And let's face it, this match has had everything. Why not add a priority minute to the end of it?
Well, that's if the Poles can get level.
They have to get level to do that, of course. But 1 point.
Oh, now it's 2 points. Right, I think we can ignore passivity now, because Jabinska, well, needs to score 2 unanswered. Got a minute. Definitely possible. Can't allow another one to slip, really.
Yeah, and Kolobova's keeping her busy as well. She's not taking any gambles, but she's every time she's getting in a threat, the blade is being beat by the Russian. She has to go for it. We're getting down to inside 30 seconds.
And a 3-point cushion now. It's looking good for Russia. You've got to say that Russia, with 30 seconds left on the clock, Jabinska's got a mountain to climb, really.
She can do it. It's possible. There's plenty of time on the clock, but Kolobova's canny. And she's sharp.
There's
she gets
one.
one back. Kolobova went in for the flick onto the arm there. Didn't land, and so left herself open. Watch this. There's a flick to the hand there, and she misses. Doesn't get the light on, I should say. Jabinska going in with the attack afterwards. Jabinska's still trying to set this up, but having to go with a nice cart beat attack to the inside of the arm. 1 point in it again. Less than 20 seconds to go. This is a great, great match.
Well, it's always a slow burner in Team Epee. It's been a low-scoring match. It's been tight all the way through. 14 seconds left to go. Jabinska needs to pull it out of the bag here.
Oh, she does as well. Brilliant stuff. Level pegging here. Non-compatibility is out the window. Down to 6 seconds. This.
Now will they step? Now will they step away? Probably, and we'll go to priority minute.
No one's taking a risk with this.
So we're going to priority minute. Just explain the ins and outs of this.
Well, basically, someone is going to get a priority that's awarded electronically but randomly. That goes to Russia. We have 1 minute of fencing left now. It's an extra time minute, and with the priority, all Kolobova has to do is make sure that Jabinska doesn't hit her. Jabinska has to go and get a hit.
So here we go. Onus on the pole. Doubles don't count. You don't even register on the scoreboard when you go into a priority minute.
Jabinska keeping Kolobova busy here. But Kolobova good in the attack, amazing against priority. The Polish team have done it here.
Brilliant performance.
What a way to end the championships with such a thrilling contest. Hats off to the Russian team as well for being a big part of a massive last gold medal match.
Yeah, that was really tight all the way through. But in the end, Poland have taken the gold medal. Nail-biting, technical, all the way through. But in the end,